Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a full comparison or who's stronger edit, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is create a new composition, and here's some settings right here. You guys can copy it right here. And that's it. So I'm going to press OK. And then you want to save your project. So then obviously you want to save it. So the next thing you want to do is get your clips. So by going up to File, Import, File, and then find where your clips are. Once you have your clips and your audio in, you want to take your audio and then cut to where you want it to start and where you want it to end. So let's say it's not gonna be that long, so roughly around here. But it really depends on what audio you're using and how long you want your intro to be, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna drag it to here. And then I'm just gonna go through here and then kind of move this around for the intro and all that. So once you have your audio set to where you want it, click on your audio, right click, go to keyframe assistant, convert audio into keyframes, and then go to where this arrow is and click down on it, and then go to effects, and then click on both channels, and then click on the slider, and then go to the graph editor. And this is where you can see where all the beats are. So this is where the intro ends, and every time you see these high spikes, you want to go to this arrow and click on the marker, and then you want to do that every single time. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and erase it, and then you want to go into your scene packs and find what scenes you want to use. And to do that, so for example, like right here, I'll go ahead and click this marker, and it'll cut it to where it starts. And then like I want it to end right here. So I'll go ahead and just press the out point, and then it'll cut it for me. It's very easy. And then I will just drag it down to here, and I'll extend it to where the outro ends because we will add Twixar to it. And then I'll go ahead and get the other scenes as well. So now click on your clip and then press S to bring up the scale property, and then you want to zoom it out. And also do that with your other one. And then now go to this right here and click on proportional grid. And this is how you can see it where to align them properly. So and then you can press P on your keyboard to put up the position, and then you can go ahead and drag your clips to the center. Also, cut this. To cut clips, press Ctrl-Shift-D and press delete. So next, turn off the proportional grid, and then now you want to select your clips for the point clips and win clips. So for all these points, you want to do that. So what I mean is do the same thing you did with the intro, but just find scenes that you want to use. So again, go ahead and cut it, Ctrl-Shift and D. And then press S on your keyboard, and then zoom it out. Turn on the proportional grid, and then press P on your keyboard for the position, and then go up. And then just adjust it to where it fits the rectangular shape. And do that for the other clip as well. So again, press S on your keyboard, scale it down a bit, and then press P on your keyboard and then bring it down, and then scale it to where it fits the rectangular shape. Now for this case, if I want to kind of match the scenes, I can zoom in a bit. And there we go. And then of course cut it, Control Shift and D again. And then for the point clip, the same process again. So again, I got the clip, so now I'm gonna make sure it's directly aligned with the beat marks I put, and then I'm gonna cut it again by using Control Shift and D, delete, and I'm gonna go ahead and press S on my keyboard to scale the property, and then scale it out. And I'm gonna press P, and I'm gonna position it to the middle. So now the next step is just to copy and paste every single clip to the beats. So select both of them by holding down Shift and then Control C, and then go to the next beat and then Control and V. Rinse and repeat. Okay, once you're done with that, go ahead and select all your clips. So go all the way to the top and then press the top and make sure you hold Shift, and that should select everything. And then you want to go over here and turn off the audio, and then go to toggle switches, and then turn on frame blending and motion blur. Then you want to pre-comp your clips. So select your first clip and then press Shift, select both of them, and then press Control Shift and C. And then make sure this option is checked and this option is checked. And then you want to pre-comp both your clips. So press both of them and press Control Shift and C. And make sure both of these options are checked and press OK. And now do that with all your clips. So now you want to make a Twixtor, and to make that, go to Effects and Presets and search for Twixtor. Bro, there it is. Okay, now drag it down to your clip and go ahead and follow my settings. And now set it to the FPS of your clip, which usually is this value. And then click on the clock for the speed and leave it at 100. Go to the middle of the clip and then put 40. Go to the end of the clip and put 100. Now press U in the clip and then select all the keyframes and press F9. Or you could select it, keyframe assistant in Easy Ease. Select all the keyframes, go to the graph editor and copy my graph. And then for your other clips, you can make a nice little velocity Twixtor. So I'll show you how to do that. So drag Twixtor Pro to your timeline and then copy my settings. And click the speed at the beginning of the clip and put 150. And go to about right here. Not towards the middle, but close to the middle, and put 40. And then select both keyframes. And you can play with the graph if you want to, but we'll see how it looks right here, and I'll adjust the graph accordingly. As you can see, it already looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the keyframes, my bad, by pressing U, selecting keyframes, and then going to Pixar Pro, pressing it, and then pressing Control and C, and that way you can go ahead and copy it to every single clip. So do that for all your clips. So for your one clip, I usually just use Twixar for that, and I use the Twixar I used in the beginning. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste that. So, my bad. Press U on your keyboard and copy and paste the Twixar, and then go to the end, and then click on it, and then copy and paste it. So select all of them, and then press Alt, go to the end, and then you can drag it to the end of the marker, so it's aligned. You're pretty much done with your base, and you want to go ahead and export it. So I'm going to drag the work area to the end of the edit, so it doesn't export stuff that we don't need. So now I'm going to go to File, Export, Add to Render, and this is all up to you, and it depends on what AE you have, but for me, I have AE 2024, and I know that AE 2023 and above will have the H.264 option, which will allow you to export with MP4 format, leaving it pretty small. And I'll show you exactly what settings I use. So I keep it on H.264. Then I go to Format Options, and I change this to about 30, and click OK, and click OK. And I go to name this. I'm going to name this something random. I'm going to go ahead and export it. Okay, now you're going to go into pause and import your. So you want to go over to enhancement, enable it, and then go down to parameters and switch from audio to manual, and then just copy my settings. So here I usually do 90. Whoops. And then you can leave everything else the same, except change the audio to none. And in this case, you can leave it at ProRes, but I like to keep everything in MP4. So I will change it to H.264, and then switch it to MP4, and then export it. So the next thing you want to do is create the text for your edit, and you can be very creative about this, like the effects you use, animations, stuff like that. But for this case, I'm just going to create a basic text. So if you guys want to use the text I want to use, just follow the steps. So I'm going to click the text tool to create the text and use any font you want to use, and type in your character's name. Also, make sure to go to the end of the text and cut it by pressing Ctrl Shift and D. Now I would make the fonts a little smaller for each. Now go ahead and copy and Now select the two texts and duplicate them. Now go to effects and presets and search for random fade up. Add them to your text. And put the keyframe to the middle. Select both of them and easy ease. So now you have this like nice fade up. And I'm going to duplicate them to create the rest of your text. And do that from there. Now, once you finish the first part of your text, go ahead and select all the text by holding down Shift and press Control and C, and then Control and V, and then drag it to the right side, and then adjust it accordingly. But first, we want to go ahead and just type in the name of our character. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to work on the other text, which is over here. So I'm just going to create a nice little basic text here. So look for a good font to use. Okay, I found a font I want to use, so I'm going to type in the points. Go down to a line and align it to the middle. Make sure to cut it by pressing Control, Shift, and D. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to add a nice little like increased tracking or decreased tracking, if you will. Drag it down to your text and press U on the keyboard. Select the keyframes and drag it down to your text. Press Alt to make sure it's directly aligned with the beats. And go to the beginning and put the value to 10. And then select both the keyframes, go to the graph editor, and copy this graph. Now you have this really nice, smooth text expand animation, which is really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this because I want to have the same exact animation, and then we're gonna press U on our keyboard to make sure they fit and drag them. Now I'm gonna duplicate the text and drag it to the next clip, and then make sure they're aligned, and also the keyframes as well. So press U, and then select them, and then drag them to make sure they fit. And then I'm going to type in the character's name, and then I'll also duplicate it again, drag it down a bit, and then change the font to something else. Make sure everything is aligned. Okay, now we're going to create our logo animation. This is also optional, but I do think it adds a little bit of charm to the edit. So I'm going to go to the import and import where our PNGs are. Once you found your PNG, drag it down to the timeline, and then align it with your clip, and then Control, Shift, and D, cut it. The next thing you want to do is create a black solid layer. So you can press Control Y, and then make it black. Drag it down, and then cut it, record it. You want to go ahead and select it, go to layer, and then go to auto trace and press OK. And then you want to click the arrow on the PNG go to masks, and then press Control and C and copy it. Copy the masks. Go to the black solid layer and press Control and V. Then delete the PNG. You don't need it. And then for this, you need the Saber plugin to do this. So type in Saber. Drag it to the black solid layer. Now, go to Customize Core. Go to Saber. Select Layer Masks. And then go to Render Settings. And then go down to where it says Black. Composite Settings. And then go to Black. And then make sure to press Transparent. And then change the color and also the brightness. So I'm gonna decrease the glow intensity and the glow spread as well. And you can also create this nice fade in animation. To do that, close all the tabs, go to Customize Core again, and then go to Start Offset and put it to 100. And then go to the middle, and then set it to 0. Press U on your keyboard, select the keyframes, press F9, or do this, select them, go to Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease, select the keyframes, go to your graph editor, and do this graph. And now you have this nice little fade in animation with the, you can't really see it, but you know what I mean. And now we can go ahead and start putting in our effects in for our text. That's if you want to, because I could just go to this text right here and just change the color, just to like leave it as basic as possible. Or you could do something like plasma. Maybe you could do something like maybe S_ texture, cells, and something like that. And then maybe add like some green there. You can also change it to white, so it has a little bit of contrast there. There's so many things you can do, so be creative. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste every of the text to all the clips, and then change it according to which character gets the points. The next thing you want to do is create a ripple effect or a white flash. To create the ripple effect, we're going to use an adjustment layer. So press Control Alt Y to bring up an adjustment layer, and then just cut it. So we'll do it like this. And go to the effects and presets and search for the ripple effect, BCC ripple effect, and copy my settings. Next, press U on your keyboard and select all the keyframes and press F9. Open the graph editor, and it should look something like this. I'm gonna zoom in for a bit and just copy my graph. And now set the height from 30 to 15. And now you have this nice ripple effect, and you can also add a white flash if you want. So to do that, press Control Y and change the solid color to white. Cut it. go to the opacity, press T on the keyboard to bring up the opacity, and click on the clock, leave it at 100, and then go to the middle, put it down to 0, and then easy ease the keyframes. You could also do a different type of white flash. The next thing you want to do is add deep glow and drop shadow to all your text. So you're going to go ahead and select all your text. So go to the bottom and go all the way to the top and select the last text and press Control, Shift, and C. And press OK. And then you want to go to the present presets and search for deep glow. Copy my settings. Search for deep glow, drop shadow. Next, search for drop shadow. And now there you go. Okay, now we want to go ahead and create a watermark for our edit. So we're going to go ahead and select all the layers except the audio and go all the way to the top. Make sure you hold Shift while doing this and press Control, Shift, C. Make sure all these options are checked and press OK. Then duplicate the layer by pressing Control and D. Turn off the audio if you want and go to the beginning and type in your name. Make sure the font is white, then type in your name. I would drag it to like around this area and then go ahead and center it by going to Align. If this option is not here, go to Window and then go down to where it says Align. And then go all the way to where your edit ends and then go and cut it. Control, Shift, and D. Delete. Go to Effects and Presets and search for Flip plus Flop. drag it to the first pre-comp. Make sure toggle switches is looking like this, and go to here and press on your name. And then you want the effects to apply to this pre-comp specifically. So we're gonna select both the text and this pre-comp and press Control Shift and C. And then copy the effects I'm gonna put on, which is drop shadow. The next one is exposure. Put the exposure to 1.25. Go to glow. Search for glow. You might have to go all the way down for this one. And set the glow threshold to 50 and the glow radius to 25. And at this point, you can add a panning effect, which is a shake that applies to the video. So I do have a preset that I will leave in the description, but to create a simple panning effect, I'll show you how to make it. So search for X_shake, drag it to the bottom, the second pre-comp. For the amplitude, put 6.06, put the frequency to 2.5 or 3 if you want. You can adjust it. I would probably put 1 or maybe, yeah. So that's how you make a easy panning effect. So after you have added your panning effects, you want to pre-comp both of these clips. So press both of them by holding down Shift, and then press Control Shift and C again. Make sure these options are checked. Press OK. And we want to go inside them again and again and again, and then you want to add your CC. Now you can add CC to text, but I recommend not to, as it will ruin the text, I feel like. So don't do that. I made that mistake in the past. It's not really a good thing to be considering. But we're gonna pre-comp this, so Control System C, then make sure these options are checked, press OK. And then search for your CC. I have a lot of CC presets, and I will put some in my Discord, like some free ones. But this is my CC preset. And I do kind of tune it a bit because the sharpen is a little too much, so I might take off like this and this, and I'll add a nice little flicker. Then after that, we're gonna go ahead and go to the beginning and add a nice fade in. So press T on your keyboard, press the clock, and then set it to 0. Then go to like maybe 2 seconds ahead, put 100. And then go all the way to the end. Press the clock or the keyframe, and then go to the end of the clip and set it to 0. And it will slowly fade out. And to fade out the text, not the text, the audio, I'll show you how to do that real quick. Click this arrow right here and then go to the audio, and then go to the audio levels by -50, and then go to a little bit towards the middle and put 0. Go to where it's about to end. Keep it at 0. Go here, put the -50. That way, audio will fade out as so is the clip. Now you're pretty much done. Go to File, Export, Add to Render, and I use these render settings, H624, and format options. I put the target bitrate at 50. Press OK, OK. Then I'm gonna just name it. And yeah, congratulations, you have made a Who is Stronger edit in After Effects. I hope that this video was super helpful, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.